Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3, verse 5 to 6. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to talk about toxic, unhealthy relationships. The purpose of the videos that I'm creating is to remind you guys and encourage you guys to know that you're not alone in whatever situation you're going through. There are people there for you, and most importantly, God is there for you. So I hope you guys just enjoy this video. The different things that I'm going to talk about, how I was in the relationship, the different things that I was feeling, the different things that I was going through, and then I'm going to talk about me transitioning, so from being in a relationship to not being in a relationship, how that time was for me, and then I'm going to discuss how I am now. For me, the reason why the relationship was unhealthy was because there was a lot of arguing, constant arguing, disrespecting one another, so calling each other things that we should not be calling each other. I was very toxic as well. During the relationship, I was aggressive, I was physical, and I was really defensive. For me, that was a way to express my anger, which was really bad because no one should put their hands on anyone. During that time, I had no control over it. The way we argued became normal for the both of us, and it got to a point where we started provoking each other. So you are going through something like that, if you are constantly arguing with your boyfriend or your girlfriend and it gets to a point where you guys are disrespecting each other and provoking each other, then you guys either need to end that relationship or you guys need to have a serious sit down, talk, conversation, and realize that this is not what we are supposed to be doing. And going through that puts a lot of stress on you. You get into a state of depression, and I feel like for me, that's how it was. It was something that became so normal, but at the same time, it was like, why does this keep happening? I knew that I wanted to get out of the relationship, but there was something that was just pulling me back to that person. In the back of my mind, it was like, do I really want to end this relationship? Am I gonna be with anyone else? Like, I've been with this person for so long and we can fix it, we can get through this, because it was something that we always did. Even knowing the fact that you want to get out of a relationship, but you're still in that relationship, that is a stronghold, because you know that it's wrong, you know that it's not good for either one of you, but yet you're still staying in this relationship. And it is very common for a lot of people to feel like that, because especially if they've been with someone for so long, that person becomes all that they know, and that person doesn't know anything outside of the person that they're with. Don't feel bad if you're in that position right now, because we all have our own attachments, our own things that we're trying to get over. But just know that whatever you may be feeling, there's something bigger and better for you on the other side. Even if you decide to stick and work with it, stick and work out the relationship, know that there's something better that's coming. So for me personally, it just wasn't for me, because I knew that's not what I wanted. The way we were acting towards each other, that's not how a relationship was supposed to be. Another thing, how I lied a lot. It's not that either one of us were bad people. I think it's just the fact that we got caught up in the relationship, trying to make it work, all the stress, all the damage that we put on each other. And I think it was just a sense of me fearing like what comes next if we do break up. I'm not perfect, and I know I never will be, but I'm human. I make mistakes. The things that I've been through help shape me, but the mistakes that I made is not who I am. Those mistakes do not define me. And I also want you guys to know that whatever you guys are feeling, if you feel regret, like you're not worthy, you're never going to be anything, you're never going to find better, that is just the enemy telling you those things, because that happened to me. Just know that God is greater, God is bigger, and he can take you out of everything, and he will use your weaknesses and everything that the devil meant for evil. He will turn it around for good, and he will work it together for your good. At the time when I finally realized that it was time to end it, I told you guys it was a life or death situation, literally a life or death situation. But before it got to that point, like, I had already started to change. So like me, I realized that the provoking, the anger, the talking back, I didn't want that anymore. So I tried my very best to stop doing those things, to stop provoking, to stop being physical. So for me, I thought it was impossible for me to change. Part where I realized that it was time to end it, it was when it was really bad. And then I physically harmed myself. At that point, I was just like, this is crazy. I wanted to kill myself. At that point, I was at a really low place, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of it, and it seems like the only way that I can get out of this relationship is if I just end my life. So that's what I tried to do. I felt like I was alone, and at that point I just did not want to be here anymore. I just felt like it would be so much better if I just end it, because I wouldn't have to deal with this relationship. You guys are at that point. I just want you to know, please do not do it. For me, like, I'd even think, I was like, my family's not going to miss me. Literally, no one was going to miss me. And it was just set in my mind that this is what I wanted to do, and that's what was going to happen. Because honestly, like, the relationship was just so draining. So even like in that moment when I was harming myself, I called on God. I would have never thought that in that moment when I'm about to lose it, that moment where I'm about to just give up on everything, in that moment my life changed forever. And by calling on one name, my life just completely turned around. I am forever grateful to God, because if it was not for him, I literally would not even be here right now. Everything that happened, I know it happened for a reason. The relationship that I was in, it needed to happen for me to get to the point where I am today. And I would not take back anything, because at the end of the day, it was a learning process, and it shaped me and put me on the path that I'm supposed to be on today. That was the relationship. That's how I was. Now I'm going to talk about transitioning, my alone season, being single, and just focusing on myself, and my newfound faith in God. With this alone season, I was reckless. I was very reckless. And it's not like it was my intentions to be reckless. It just so happened that I was. So after I got out of the relationship, I was just like, I don't care about anything anymore. I'm not trying to get into any relationship anytime soon. I'm not about to go through the same thing, and I don't want to put myself through that. I don't even want there to be a chance for anything like that to happen again. So during the time that I was alone, I learned more about God. I studied, I read my Bible. Would I change it? No, because even in that moment, everything that happened while I was single needed to happen to make me who I am today. And everything that you go through in life, whether it's bad, whether it's good, whether you feel like it's the worst thing that could ever happen to you, just know that it's shaping you for who you're supposed to be. And I used to live with a lot of regret. I've learned that you cannot regret what you've done, what you've been through, because that's all a part of your story, and that's all a part of the journey that you're on. The best thing about it was just learning about God, and it was just so amazing to me. And I know I already said this, but I'm just honestly so grateful to God, because if it was not for him, I don't know what my life would be like right now. My alone season also, of course, I had my moments where I would want to go back to my old relationship, and that is a normal thing to think of, but you just have to know what you want. You have to know what's best for you. You have to know where you stand and what you want from your life. And if you know that that situation that you were in was no good for you, was draining you, was making you tired, was having you have low self-esteem, not loving yourself, not feeling worthy, then that is not the relationship that you need to be in. And you deserve better. You definitely deserve better, because you are worth everything. You have a lot to offer, and don't ever think that you have to be stuck where you are, because there's always better, there's always something greater. And I knew that this wasn't what I wanted to be in. This wasn't healthy for me, and it wasn't making me feel good about myself. And the way I was acting wasn't making me feel good about who I am, because it made me think completely different than who I actually am. For me, I knew I did not want to live like that. And once I actually made that decision and stuck to it, I felt amazing. It was hard, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. Even though you decide on something, you have to work to stick to that decision, to stick to that vow that you made to yourself. So if you say that you're going to leave and you're going to move on, you have to put work and effort into that, because if you don't, then it will be so easy to fall back into your old habits, to fall back into that relationship when you know that's not what you deserve. How I am now, I am much better, a much better person. I have God to thank for that, because He has helped me grow. He has helped me change. The things that used to get me upset don't get me upset. The way I used to act, I don't act. Granted, sometimes I do have my moments, but it's not like how it used to be. It's nowhere near where it used to be. I am in a relationship now, and I am extremely happy. And things that I have learned from my old relationship that helps me now, physical violence is a no-no. I was extremely angry, but I will never put my hands on my boyfriend. Never. And my boyfriend will never disrespect me. And he is honestly the sweetest person ever, because he really respects me. How I am now, I communicate. At first, in the beginning of the relationship, it was difficult for me to communicate, because all I ever knew was to not communicate. All I ever knew was shutting down, but he makes it extremely easy for me to communicate and to be open. And another thing, we were friends before we even got into a relationship. We were really, really, really good friends. I'm saying this like we've known each other forever. We have not known each other for forever, but we were good friends. I'm honest. I do not lie anymore. And this was before I even got into a relationship. A healthy relationship, from what I've been learning, is that you have to be open, you have to communicate, you have to be vulnerable. Each other, respect is a huge thing. You guys have to respect each other. You guys have to communicate. If you guys are upset with each other, then just talk it out. It's not always easy. I'm not perfect. I don't always do the right things when I'm upset, but it's a work in progress. If you know your certain triggers, then get that person, whoever you're in a relationship, get that person to work with you, help you to figure out why certain things trigger you the way it does. A friendship, make sure you guys are friends before. A lot of laughter. Don't let it get to the point where you guys are arguing and then you guys start disrespecting each other, calling each other things that you shouldn't be, being physical. Always make sure that you guys talk it out and communicate. Two important things that I believe are vital for a healthy relationship. One, allow each other to be their own person. And another thing that I put is understanding where that person has been or what they've gone through, so that when certain things come up, you can understand why they're acting that certain way. That'll even be better for you guys when you guys have to communicate, and when something's wrong with that person, communication will be so much easier because you guys have discussed what's been going on. And the biggest thing of all for me and my boyfriend is keeping God at the center. Just letting God be at the center. And honestly, that has been so amazing, because with God in it, it is really so much easier. If you try to do it on your own, it's going to be hard. You need God as your foundation. You need God because He is stable. You need God because He is a comforter, a protector. I allowed God to work through me, work on me, and I allowed Him to fix the things that would not be good if I were in a relationship. Oh, another thing, just wanting what's best for each other, supporting each other, and remembering that that person belongs to God, not to you. I hope some of this video, certain parts of this video, spoke to you and your situation or whatever you may be going through. And I just want you guys to remember that you're not alone. If you are in an unhealthy or a toxic relationship, there is a way out. And even though it may feel like you're drowning in that relationship or there's no escape, there is a way, and you will make it. Just remember who you are, remember what you're worth, remember what you deserve, and know that there is better, there is greater, and you are loved. Even if it may not feel like it, you are loved. Even if it may feel like no one's in your corner, you are not alone. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in my next video, and thank you guys so much for your support thus far. I know I've been MIA for a very long time, but no excuses. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.